What can you learn from Meek Mill and Donald Trump? Yesterday was election day, and Donald Trump got a surprising victory. It was funny because I actually worked out during election night, and I was coming out the gym, and everybody, I live in LA, and everybody was just looking just puzzled to what was going on. And Donald Trump had a convincing victory despite what many of the polls said. And in the same week, or at least the week before, Meek Mill, the rapper, got his first week sales, and he sold about 82,000 records his first week, more than what people would have thought after the whole situation with Drake. And these two situations are very similar. If you are into business or into the kind of stuff I am, and there's two lessons you could take away from it. Okay, so lesson number one: what can you learn from Meek Mill and Donald Trump? Right, so Donald Trump is somebody who over the past, year, 2 years since he's been running, has had a lot of, I guess you could say, controversies to say the least, right? From the whole situation with the tape leaking, where he used, for lack of a better word, demonstrative language toward how he treats women or whatever. And then he had the situation where he was making fun of a mentally challenged reporter, and all types of things that are for another video. And on the flip side, you have Meek Mill, who had a situation with Drake where he, in public perception, got killed, right? He had the beef with 50 Cent, beef with Game. And it seemed like both of these people, Meek Mill and Donald Trump, couldn't recover because they were taking such a beating in public perception. Yet both of them got victories in their own right. You know what I'm saying? So what does this say? Well, it says this, that as long as you have a niche, you will be okay. And what do I mean by niche? Okay, so Donald Trump's niche was American white voters, right? I think I was watching something on CNN earlier where Donald Trump had like 40 or 50% more of white voters who didn't have a college degree, right? So while everybody in the mainstream media, especially minorities like myself, blacks, Spanish, build a wall, all this race baiting that he used over the past 2 years, why I don't condone or definitely wouldn't say recommend it. I don't condone the stuff that he's done, and the race baiting and the tactics that he's used, but what it shows you is that although he alienated a lot of different demographics, right? Blacks. I think he only had like 7% of black votes, only like 20% of Hispanic votes. But he really went narrow on a niche market, which was, in his case, for politics, was white American voters. And he went all in on that, and that's why, despite some of the race baiting he's used, it still resulted in a victory because he went all in on what he thought would work, what the Republican Party, with their I guess bases, and he just doubled down on it. And the same thing with Meek Mill, right? Ever since the Drake situation, he said he don't care about commercial rap or award shows or selling 250 first week anymore. He doesn't care about any of the entertainment that comes with being a rapper. He just cares about the streets. He cares about the hood, and how he could help inspire people who are in the hood to get out and to make something of themselves. And that's why, although he definitely took a hit publicity-wise and in mainstream media, he was still able to recover and sell 82,000 records first week, and that's pretty darn good. Especially, like, he released it for free, so you had the option of listening to it for free or buying it, and he still sold 82,000 records first week, which is, in this day and age where people are just stealing off YouTube or whatever, that's pretty good. And it's the same thing with Donald Trump. You know, he didn't try to appeal to the people who turned on him during the Drake situation. He just rode with the people who supported him. And, you know, I'm a huge Drake fan, but during the whole thing, I must say, he didn't lose the streets. Not one bit. He didn't lose the streets. And, you know, although, like, same thing with Donald Trump with the whole situation, Access Hollywood, he didn't lose the white, you know, American voter, because he was just so deep into the base that they wouldn't turn on him for anything, right? The whole wall thing about bring jobs back. You know, that was a message that resonated with so many people that they look past the flaws that Donald Trump had. It's the same thing with Meek Mill. Meek Mill represents the street, and that brings me to lesson number 2. You have to be able to resonate with people. You have to be a representation of your target audience. So not only do you go niche, but you have to be a representation of them. And that's what kind of did Hillary in, is that she was just a lifetime politician. She didn't resonate with nobody but, I mean, I'm not going to say nobody, because she definitely got, you know, half, you know, near half of the votes. But, you know, she was a politician. And it's harder when, you know, when you're a politician, that's what you represent. You only resonate with other politicians or people that are just diehard, you know, Democrats who's going to vote if Mickey Mouse was a Democrat. But Donald Trump showed a lot more personality throughout the whole campaign, being on social media, that he really was a representation of the white voter. That's the same thing with Meek Mill. Meek Mill is a representation of the streets. And no matter, you know, and it's funny because you think about it like this, Donald Trump is a billionaire. You know, how can he resonate with white, you know, the common white blue collar voter if he's somebody that, you know, runs businesses? He's not he's not in the, you know, in the gold mine and, you know, digging as you would say. And the same thing with Meek Mill. Meek Mill's a millionaire. He's not in the streets towing guns anymore, but he still represents them. They still feel like that he understands. So 2 takeaways from this: go niche. You know, it brings me back to the old saying, you can't please all the people all the time, right? If you try to make everybody happy, you'll end up making nobody happy. And that, I think Donald Trump and Meek Mill is a prime example of, if you go narrow and you try to understand them, if you survey them, like, so practically, right? How do you do this? If you're a business owner, if you survey your customers, you know how they're feeling, you know what their problems are, and you can state it better than they can express it themselves. Well, then they feel like you get it, and they'll look past some of the inevitable roadblocks that you'll have. So I think this is a great lesson. Like I said, I'm a huge Drake fan, but I respect Meek Mill for how he was able to recover. You know, I'm not a fan of some of Donald Trump's tactics, but I could respect what he pulled off, especially from a business standpoint. And it's taught me, hey, you don't have to appeal to everybody. You know, and in fact, when you do try to appeal to everybody, that's when you lose. So that's the takeaway from this video, and I hope that it provides you some value.